And let me tell you how sick this woman is. The reason why she went with her cousins is I left her and she knew I was never coming back. Larry convinced her, you need to go ahead and get a divorce. And so when he figured that out, so it took about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. He talked to her, don't let him come back. I wasn't coming back. I'm gone forever. Okay. Soon as he knew it was locked in, Tasha, that's when he called his wife and asked her for he wants a divorce. He called me down 2 times, Ebony Weathers.
Mm-hmm. So they both divorcing at the same time?
No. He asked his wife for a divorce after he slept with Kiki. And he knew it.
Okay, y'all, listen. Let me tell you something. Keke Wyatt has gone from being known as the eternal breeder to now being exposed as a whole husband stealer. I am not making this up. Her ex-husband came out and exposed some shocking details about their marriage that have the entire internet in shambles right now. We're talking allegations of incest, multiple men literally running for the hills like their lives depended on it, and claims that this woman is toxic, manipulative, and emotionally destructive on a level we have never seen before in celebrity relationships. But wait, it gets so much worse. The biggest allegation that has everyone's jaw on the floor? Kiki allegedly stepped out of her marriage with her own cousin. Yes, you heard me right. Her cousin. And now, allegedly, her and this cousin are scheming people together by opening up a fake church. A church, y'all.
And so 3 weeks after I left, she cannot be alone, a lunatic. And so she figures out that I'm not coming back. I'm never coming back. Okay? Smart girl. And so she calls her cousin, who's still married to his wife, has him to come. He comes like 1 or 2 times. The second time, he stays. He convinces her, you got to divorce him. The goal was is for Larry to get his divorce, her to get her divorce. He called Ebony after he was telling her he locked it in, asking his wife for a divorce. So this woman stole her cousin away from his wife and had her own cousin to come live with her, and they began an ancestral relationship.
You cannot convince me this is real life. I cannot make this up if I tried. So when I heard about this whole situation unfolding online, I had to literally sit down and really process what was being said, because child, the exposure from her ex-husband painted their marriage as literal hell on earth. Like, the things he described were absolutely insane. And honestly, it's starting to look like Kiki might have been the problem all along in every single one of these relationships. Because let's be real here, this woman is known for more drama from her 3 failed marriages than she is for her actual singing career at this point. Think about that for a second. When was the last time you heard someone talk about Kiki's music versus her relationship drama? Exactly. Let that sink in. Now let's rewind and talk about marriage number 1, shall we? Because the pattern starts early with this one. Kiki married her first husband, Ramat Morton, when she was just 18 years old. 18. Fresh out of high school, barely an adult. He was her road manager, and for 9 long years, their marriage was filled with multiple domestic violence incidents that were reported and documented. It got so bad that at one point, Keke ended up stabbing him in self-defense during one of their altercations. The marriage finally ended in 2009, and you know what Keke said about the experience? She claimed it made her stronger, but the way she said it was like she was implying that next time, she would be the one causing the damage. She basically said she learned her lesson and wouldn't be the victim again. Red flag number 1, y'all. That's concerning language right there. But then we move on to marriage number 2 with Michael Jamar. And child, this one was even more chaotic than the first. Like, somehow she outdid herself. Picture this. Kiki is 8 months pregnant, literally about to pop. The family is caring for a child with cancer who is going through treatments, and Michael files for divorce. Out of nowhere, people were confused. People were calling him heartless. People were mad at him for leaving a pregnant woman. But Michael later came out and said he saw things that made him want out immediately. He clarified that he still loved the family deeply, but the marriage had become extremely toxic, and that he could no longer survive it emotionally or mentally. He said staying would have destroyed him completely. And then Michael released this statement that honestly broke my heart into a million pieces. He said, and I quote, "For over 7 years, I've been Keke's husband, backbone, friend, confidant, and support system. I've loved, raised, supported, and cared for every child in our family, biological or not, including our son who is currently battling leukemia, and do all of these things, but I will not be her husband." He said he didn't want their kids living in a toxic home, and that he would still be a father to them even after the split. That's a man who was clearly at his breaking point, but still trying to do right by those children. But y'all, their son, the one with leukemia, who was literally fighting for his life, came forward years later and revealed something that made my stomach absolutely turn. He said that when he came out as gay to his mother, Kiki told him that if she knew he would grow up liking men, she would have left him to die when he had cancer.
Put a finger down if you were diagnosed with cancer as a teenager and your parent decides to publicly announce your diagnosis for personal gain and attention, but behind the scenes saying that your diagnosis is karma for you being a part of the alphabet mafia. And if they known that you were going to turn out like this, they could have kept their money.
Let me repeat that one more time so it really sinks in. She allegedly told her sick child, her baby who was battling a life-threatening illness, that she would have let him die if she knew his orientation. What kind of mother, child? I can't even process that level of cruelty and hatred toward your own flesh and blood. Of course, Kiki wasn't about to stay quiet and let Michael tell his side. Oh no. She jumped on social media immediately and put Michael on blast.
You want to know something, America? When you 8 months pregnant and you got a child sick in and out of the hospital and your husband got the nerve to tell you that he wants a divorce because he says that you're an emotional wreck. He says that from the very beginning, you never trusted me and all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, telling other people, other women that we getting a divorce and if she calls or it's like, what? Like, I am so done with Michael Jamar. Y'all can have him and roast his ass.
Trying to control the narrative like she always does whenever someone exposes her behavior. But here's the thing. Kiki wasn't even bothered by Michael leaving her because a few months later, she married husband number 3, Zachariah, and boom, pregnancy number 9 followed shortly after like clockwork. They got married in 2018 and by July 2024, they were divorced. That's only 6 years, y'all. Kiki announced she was divorced and happy to be free, claiming she was freed from his quote-unquote torture and was ready to move on with her life and find happiness again. She was already playing the victim before he even said a word. But then Zachariah decided he wasn't going to stay silent like the others did. Oh no, child. Unlike her previous exes who mostly kept quiet, Zachariah went on interviews and exposed everything. And let me tell you, the details he shared did not make Kiki look like some scorned, innocent woman who just kept picking the wrong men. Not at all. In fact, it made her look like the common denominator in all of this chaos. He accused her of chasing him away just like she did Michael, creating the same toxic environment that made it impossible to stay.
She'll know when she see this. Kiki mama, Miss Lorna Jean, I'm sorry. Miss Lorna Jean, Kiki's mama. She cried, she had told me a couple times, but she cried her heart out. Kiki, she missed it. She was on the other side of the bed, she was in the bedroom. And my daddy was from Thomasville, Georgia. That's why I got this little accent or whatever.
Oh, you good?
My daddy was from Thomasville, Georgia. And she was crying and bawling her eyes out. Here's what she said. She knew the calling on my life. She said, Zach, please don't leave my daughter. Because if you leave her, I believe, I don't want to be spit, forgive me. I believe that she will meet her demise because she's going to self-destruct. She's been on a path to self-destruct and it's going to eventually catch up with her. And I don't know how much longer she'll be here.
He said that 3 weeks after he left the home, 3 weeks, she brought another man into the house around their children. And that man, her married cousin. Yes, her cousin who already had a wife. Zachariah alleged that she was having an affair with her cousin during their marriage. And that once again, she was trying to play the victim when she was really the villain, all along orchestrating everything. And Zach didn't just come with words and allegations. He came with receipts, honey. Screenshots, timelines, all of it.
With her, I loved her back then. She got worse. All this stuff, the marriage where I met and whatever, she wasn't as bad. She wasn't like this when she was younger. She wasn't as bad as this. Life experiences or whatever, it just, and she took it all out on me. But then again, Michael Jamar, you're hearing the same old story. abuse.
He provided proof for his claims, and it turns out Keke is still involved with this cousin to this very day. And get this part, they're planning to start a church together. A church, can you imagine? The audacity, the manipulation, the scheming, it's all right there in plain sight. Using religion to scam people after everything that's been exposed, but it gets even darker than just the affair, y'all. Zachariah suggested that all these men constantly coming in and out of the house has seriously harmed the children emotionally and even physically. He hinted that one of the kids was inappropriately touched by one of these men, and Keke allegedly ignored it and swept it under the rug just to keep the man around because she didn't want to be alone. That is a level of negligence and intentional harm that I cannot even begin to wrap my head around. Protecting a man over your own child, make it make sense. And if she was overlapping relationships with her cousin, like Zach claims she was,
Worries me. And it's like Kiki is grown. She could do what she want to do. But personally, my mom always had a different boyfriend. And you didn't tell her till she got older, those boyfriends tried to touch on us.
See?
And so for Keke to have a revolving door of men, to me, that's concerning because it's like...
There's even speculation floating around that one of the children might not even be Zach's biologically. Now, of course, the internet had an absolute field day with all of this information coming out. One person said, the ex-husband should take a DNA test on that baby. Another said, once every 2 years, people find out Keke Wyatt is a terrible person. And my personal favorite comment that really sums it all up, the Keke Wyatt news isn't shocking to me. A woman who would lay up and birth that many kids doesn't have a lack of sense, nor do I expect to be as sane a person. The reads were absolutely brutal, but honestly, they're not wrong at all. The pattern is crystal clear at this point. So now I want to know what y'all think about all of this messy situation. Is Keke the toxic one in all these relationships? Were all 3 of her husbands just fed up with the same behavior? And what about those kids? Are they safe in that environment? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.